I don't know. Call this meeting to order, take a roll call, please.
Blockus.
Here.
Kramer. Davis. Hendricks.
Here.
Platter.
Here.
Hendricks.
Here.
Need a motion to approve the agenda? Motion by Davis, second by Platter, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Open forum. Your driveway's on a little bit further down. Kim, anything?
What's that?
Anything in open forum, anything you got new?
No.
Okay. If not, we'll move on. Consent agenda, approve the minutes from the meeting on June 22nd and June 30th. Approve treasurer's report and approve a building permit app for Jim Aggerson. 10 by 13 lean-to off shed and skids in his backyard.
Yeah, it was approved by home.
Okay.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion by Blockus to approve. Second by Hendricks, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. New business. Nick and Colleen driveway.
Yeah.
Kim, do you know, did Jeremy ever look at that?
No, not yet.
He hasn't. Okay.
All that was when they did it was the city always just paid 2 foot back and,
Right.
you know, when they did downfall scrap and stuff. So that's the way they did it there.
Um,
That's the latest.
He's gonna do some curbs this year, yeah, right?
I think so.
Did you want to look at it?
You know, yeah, I looked at it, but I mean, I could tear it out and replace it and you'd hit bottom again, you know, I'm not a
That's the
concrete
whole
man.
thing, it's gotta remain consistent with the rest of the flow there.
Right.
That's the problem. I mean, when they were doing it, they would have had to tear it out way up to make it at the slope that they wouldn't.
But that's probably what you want, right?
Well, we was never contact, you know, and now we got a letter in the mail that they're gonna do the street. Well, if the street goes up any higher, I'm gonna go deeper.
Yeah.
So that's what, and I never heard no more about it, you know, they said they were gonna have the contractor come look at it.
Right, right. Yeah, and he did it last year and he hasn't been back to do anything this year.
Yeah,
I mean, he is.
but I mean,
is
he never
planning.
come to talk to me or anything, nobody did,
Right.
you know.
Is that a street that's gonna be dug out?
Probably.
Then it might make it better. I mean, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a.
So that's what my concern is, and I don't know what they're gonna do, maybe it'll be,
I think it's supposed to be level.
Well, I think they're gonna, if that's one of the streets they're gonna dig out, then they'll go down.
it's Walnut
Is that
Street.
one, Kim?
Yeah.
That they're gonna dig down?
They wouldn't go higher.
But usually they stay the same as whatever it was before.
Yeah, it
Like
won't go
on your
higher.
road too, I was surprised that they didn't go flatter, you know, on the curb and gutter, but they pretty much keep it the same, so. I don't think, they definitely wouldn't go any higher.
Yeah.
Would be my guess, so, but I can't say.
Right. And I don't know what the road looks like right there. I don't know if it's got a big crown to it or, yeah, I don't know.
I don't think it's got a big crown.
Don't it?
I don't think so. But I mean, when we moved there, we were, it was all okay, but after they put that in, then
Right,
our cars started bottoming out.
right.
So now we hit it at an angle, but if somebody comes to visit,
They don't know that.
they hit it.
If they come and visit once, then they remember the second time.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And I'm sure your driveway was probably chipped down a little bit. And now it's back where it belongs, I'm guessing. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
And figured though, you should have.
And I was working when they done it too, I mean, I didn't see. All I know, as soon as they opened it up, our car bottomed out, I never did it before.
So
Well, what we
is
should do
this
is have them
something
look at it
that,
and see what they suggest for a solution.
Or maybe I'll wait until that road's redone and then see how it is.
Because I mean, the
It
driveway,
could improve it, could make it worse.
right,
Yeah.
No, I don't know that the street's gonna have much effect, because if they could have gone up further and lowered that plane, that would have solved the problem, but they only had authorization to go those 2 feet. And so they went up to meet the driveway, and the only way to do it would have been to tear more out and make the slope less. We went up there and looked at it.
right.
So let's have them take a look at it and see what they come up with. And
Is that all right? I mean, we haven't forgotten about it.
okay, but at whose expense is it then if you have to go up more?
well, with everybody else, it's been the homeowner's expense.
I guess we can talk about that then.
Yeah, because we didn't.
Yeah, we can have somebody to look
didn't
at it,
have
we'll
any-
go from there.
Yeah, because we didn't have any problem before.
Right,
you know, so
no.
I don't feel it's really our.
So do you hit the road?
Yep.
Okay.
I
So
do
when
it
you
when-
hit, it's the road, it's not the curb.
Well, if you're coming in, you hit
You
the
hit that.
drive, hit the driveway. If you're backing out, you're hitting on the road. Yeah, it's steep, because your wheels are going down into that dip.
Sure.
Regular dip there.
No, he'll be around this summer. That truck, the guy that puts in the curb, so.
Okay.
On your letter that you sent that they're gonna be repairing the street, do you have a date on any of this?
I don't.
I.
It said in the letter after it dried out.
Yeah,
You haven't heard nothing, have you, Kim?
No.
They just kind of pop in here when they can and do it.
all right, very good, that's okay.
But yeah, we haven't forgot about you, so,
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
let's see what
Alright,
happens.
that's-
All right?
Okay,
You
so
bet.
okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It'd be sort of nice to pin them with that.
Truck? Jeremy?
Oh,
Oh,
The street guy,
the street guy.
Stuffus?
To give us a,
the schedule.
yeah, or at least a general idea when he's gonna be in town, so we could notify these people. Especially if that's your only way to get in and out.
Yeah. It would be nice.
Seems like we're sort of last out for this specifically.
What's that?
Forget the street stuff. We give them the big contractors, and all of a sudden it shows up late in the year.
And I'm sure it makes it, 40 miles north can get 2 inches of rain and we don't get nothing, and it's dry here and not there, or vice versa, I'm sure that. Yeah. Okay. Approve resolution 1507.1, resolution setting the public hearing date of August 10th. I'm gonna stop there a minute. Bob, you missed consent, or the open forum. You got anything?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
My frost boil is out there in front of the shop, and what we got on our ground in the cities is pretty much where I can get some rock in there. And I was wondering if the city would be willing to share the expense with me if I bring in a couple loads of rock.
Actually, we got,
At the bottom.
yep, way in the bottom. While you're here, I know I told you a couple of years ago, when you hauled it in, that you should let us know, and because by the edge there, by the ambulance shed, that always needs some work and stuff anyway.
Yeah, and
Maybe we could do it together, yeah.
yeah, and I had a load of rock brought in earlier to try and straighten it out, and I brought in road rock. Well, half of that is basically lime rock, or it's lime.
Sure.
And you get a lot of lime in with the rock, so if I can get some regular washed white rock that don't have any lime in it would be the best. So that's what I was looking at as far as bringing in.
And that other stuff tracks all over,
Yeah, right. So, and if it's okay, I'll probably get something in there yet this week.
You want us to help you move it, or
No.
help you pay for it, or?
Just pay for it. I had Craig Kramer make one of these things you drag behind,
Yeah,
and it's as wide as my tractor. And if I hook onto that and I get rock in there, I should be able to level that off just like it is around the fire station. At least that's what I'm hoping.
Have you got an estimate on cost?
Of rock? No, I don't. I really don't. The load we got last time, I don't know if it was something like 300 for a load of rock coming from Cordis.
And how many loads do they ask, do you think? it's gonna
I'm
take?
thinking for sure 2. Yeah.
yeah. Unless you wanna haul it to the city.
Well, if it's cheaper, we
I
should.
mean, we got dump trucks too.
Yeah.
Not to
No.
take anything away from Clay, but
No, that's fine. If the city wants to haul in that washed rock instead of, the regular road rock, I have no problem with it.
Let's talk to Al and get a price and let him know first.
we do that.
Mm-hmm, it's fine, yep.
Do they have that wash rock out at Neiman's?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. You get road rock or clean rock,
Okay.
which way you want it, so.
Sure.
Yeah,
It's no problem which way we haul it.
clean rock as far as that.
Okay.
So, that sounds good to me, so that's all I needed.
All right.
I'll be on the way.
Yeah, we'll work together, you bet.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of a mutual driveway through there, yeah.
And for some reason, right through there where we're at, going to my shop, is frost boil box, blowing on
Sure.
the ground.
How could it help it when you look at the street that goes around,
Well, if we could get it back in shape, I'd appreciate it.
All right, sounds good.
that street is not suitable for Volkswagen, I'll tell you.
Okay, going back. Approve resolution 1507.1, resolution setting public hearing date August 10th to authorize a loan agreement with the Iowa Finance Authority not to exceed $443,776. Sewer revenue capital loan notes to be applied engineering and planning of a lagoon project. Need a motion on that? Motion by Davis. Second by Hendricks, all in favor.
You know,
Opposed?
I thought there'd be 2 loans that were about 350,000 each.
This is another loan.
Is it different?
This is with the state revolving fund,
Okay.
for the pre-engineering costs
Okay,
for them.
I just, those
For the
figures
sewer
are
budget.
stuck in my mind.
Right, that's the ones we just did.
Yeah.
This is the one that we got penalized not getting the grant because we didn't have that set up in place yet? Is that part of
No.
that?
What this is, this covers, the engineering, oh, you can keep that over there.
Sorry.
Oh, that's fine, I can sit down. This covers the engineering fees for the, lagoon project and the sewer work we're doing in town. Basically, when you guys didn't get the grant last time, Brian Schoen said, the more ready you can be, the better off you are, so if you.
That's what I mean, this wasn't ready and in place yet.
Yeah, it wasn't ready in place, so anything we've been billing you on this project to date, it's just been coming out of your normal operating budget, which is really taking a hit on your operating budget. So we've been holding off since I found that out for about 2-3 months now, and we haven't billed you anything, but we're continuing to work on it.
Have you billed us before, really?
We did, once or twice. So this will allow us to keep working, get the design closer to completion, and then you'd be more prepared when the grant rolls around in the fall. And it's my understanding, once you get your actual SRF revolving loan fund, this just gets rolled into that.
Oh,
So essentially, when you borrow that money, you won't borrow as much, because this will already be
that's already been
pre-borrowed.
borrowed.
Yeah.
All right.
And this is not just engineering, it's also like, if I remember right, like environmental impact, maybe some archaeological, some of those things. They're called design service loans, is what they are. And I believe it's interest-free for 2 or 3 years.
Yep.
Okay. That explains that, right? questions on that? Had a motion by Davis, second by Henrich, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approve resolution 1507.2, resolution adopting an engagement agreement with Ahlers Cooney to serve as bond counsel for the loan of $443,776.
Motion.
Motion by Baucus. Second by Davis, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approve resolution 1507.3, resolution adopting the wage resolution for fiscal year 2016.
We adopted the wages, but we have to do it by resolution, so this is just the resolution.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Slattery,
Second.
second by Baucus, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approve resolution 1507.4, resolution transferring $57,665 from TIF to general fund for payment of the DOT.
Well, we've already done that. No?
We did it in the amendment to the TIF amendment, but we never did transfer the money, and we got the bill from the DOT now, so. Right, for the right settlement, yeah.
Do the motion. Motion by Henry. Second by Davis, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Discuss a variance for a dog. Any discussion?
I don't think we really need that variance. Should have listened to everything, city attorney involved.
Why is this being put on the agenda again?
Because you never made a decision.
Just because she was here last meeting.
Oh.
We just kind of tabled it and nothing was ever
The general
said.
consensus of the council is that we don't want pit bulls in town.
Right.
So to me, that sells.
So, discussion of the variance is over? No discussion?
Well, I'd like to know what the topic of discussion is, whether she can keep it here and on what grounds.
Well, let's make it easy. I'll make a motion that we do not grant variance. Second.
Motion by Baucus to allow no variance. Second by Davis, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Discuss income level for assistance for help with reduced rate garbage. What's,
You should do it, that's something else. That was just,
we've had people inquire about it, or it's just an option to do?
yeah, we've had some inquire, but right now the rate's so low that nobody really qualifies for the help. So this income guidelines are only $800 per month, that's all they can make. So, not too many people just make that, just Social Security, it's a little
Sure.
more than that. And there's people that could use the help,
That's probably set 20 years ago.
I'm sure if I was. That's why we thought maybe it should be reviewed.
So we really have nobody on low income garbage.
We had one, but she went to the home, so we have no one now.
So the guideline is still $800.
Right. And what we do is we pay for all but $1 of a, they can only have a small can, which is $18.30 a month. So in other words, it would be $17.37 or 30 cents that the city would kick in, they pay $1.
But if nobody is below that income guideline, where's the need?
Well, what's Social Security pay on an
Well,
average?
It depends on what your earnings are, but I get way too much. Some people apparently don't get
We've
enough.
asked like some of the elderly ladies in town, and they make mostly under 1,000 is what it is, so that's why we figured
A month?
1,000, yeah.
Of course, they don't have a earnings history either. They're widows and probably didn't work very much during their life.
Right.
But there's seems like that's pretty low. I mean, if you're making less than that, you should be getting some other kind of welfare, you know.
So it's probably getting fuel assistance.
Well, yeah.
That I
Stuff
can't,
like that.
that I don't know.
But if we go under 1,000, then there'll be a few other people.
A few will be qualified, yeah.
So who set this? Is this just something arbitrarily set by the city then?
It must have been like years ago.
I mean, it's nothing that's not no
What would you use?
state mandate or anything like that.
No, I don't think so.
What would you use for proof of their income?
They'd have to show us like a bank statement showing, you know, if their social security check is deposited into their account.
What if their investments are reinvested? No deposits into the bank?
Yeah, I'm sure this lady has more investments.
We're only talking about one person, and
Well, anybody we can help is what we would like to do, so.
well, you can help me.
You said you make too much.
Well, in my opinion, Social
You
Security.
should send it back to the state then.
Social Security is a big deal.
You get opt out there.
So could Howard Hughes.
But he's paid it and he wants his fair share.
Donald Donald gets president.
Donald Trump could give his back too, maybe he does, I don't know. I guess all
I really don't think it would be abused by anybody.
No, I don't think so
you
either.
know. And if it could help somebody, I really don't know what to say. I mean, do other towns have it on there?
I'll tell you.
You know, that'd be, seems like we follow other towns quite often.